It's been a long time since I tried another game of this genre, and this game checks all the boxes I'm looking for in a tactical JRPG. Hey there, my name is Hypnos, and this is my first impressions review on Unicorn Overlord. Developed by Vanillaware, Unicorn Overlord is a tactical JRPG that boasts a lot of unique characters and its unusual yet interesting gameplay and combat system. Let's start off with the gameplay right off the bat. The gameplay revolves around managing your squads and units and guiding them in combat. Each unit has their own equipment and tactics in battle. What's unique here is that you plan and decide what they do in combat before the actual battle begins. You get to set the conditions on when and what will they do, and control where to deploy them and move them around the battlefield. But once each specific combat begins, you have no control then, and they will follow the combat tactics you set. When I first heard this, it piqued my interest because it seems unusual, and when I finally tried it, it starts off simple, so I wasn't overwhelmed by it. It's fun to see how the combat unfolds with the strategy and squad composition that I planned beforehand. It kind of reminds me of the Gambit system of Final Fantasy XII, but a little more complex because you should think of how a unit behaves with the rest of the squad. I'm 40 hours in the game as of making this video, and one notable thing I also wanted to share is that they introduced gameplay features on a slower pace, which has its advantages so you get used to the gameplay before introducing a few complex stuff later on. I think it took me about 30 hours before I finally got to promote a class, and at this point, this is where I started to get really hooked at the game. The depth of the strategy and how each unit synergizes and seeing them all in action was really fun for me. There are also a lot of unique and interesting characters to join your army. They have their own rapport progression and unique dialogues, and they are all memorable in their own way. Outside all the unit composition and combat, the world map is also interesting. There are a lot of items and resources you can pick up, which you can use to deliver items in town to increase your honor, which you use to grow your army. A town can have different sizes, and they include shops where you can buy your equipment and items, and some has their own fort to improve or hire units. And then you'll also see some tavern where your units can eat together and form deeper bonds of friendship.
Finally,
Such
time
wonderful
to eat.
flavors.
Don't be picky.
Without spoiling too much, the story is set in a medieval fantasy world. You play as Elaine in a path of redemption to retake the throne of Cornea and rule the whole land of Fevret as their rightful heir. With this being in a medieval setting, I can't help compare its story quality to Tactics Ogre and Final Fantasy Tactics. So far, I can say that Unicorn Overlord's story is interesting, but it's way lighter and not as dark and serious as the other two games I mentioned. In my opinion, the best part of the game's storytelling and world building is how each unique characters that join you are all interesting and has their own personality. As someone who likes role-playing, it made me care about each unit and it actually influenced how I assemble each squad that would make sense on the story. Some downsides I can notice while playing this is that the menu navigations could be a lot better. Navigating through the equipment and inventory can be a bit inconvenient, especially in the mid to late game where you would already have a lot of items and characters. There are options to optimize equipments, but I think it's not the best option to take, especially if you want to focus on getting the best combo in the squad. You get to save some tactics you set for each unit so you can easily switch it around, and I wish saving equipments was also possible. So far, these are my only complaints, and I'm curious if you also have a few more. I strongly think that Unicorn Overlord is an awesome game, and definitely deserves more attention. It checked all the boxes I am looking for in an RPG because of the number of characters, equipments, and a lot more customization for their combat tactics. Also, I want to mention that I really like the art style and how it looks overall. I think 2024 was a very strong year for JRPGs, and this game definitely contributes to it. I might even have to 100% this game because it's personally appealing to me. Give this game a try if you haven't yet, and to you all who have tried this, feel free to share what you think in the comments below. That's it for now, and don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos if you enjoyed this. My name is Hypnos, and thank you for watching.